I'm staring at my father across the dinner table, and I already know what he's about to say. I've heard these exact words before. Sweetheart, we need to talk about college. My stepmother, Linda, sets down her wine glass with a soft clink. My stepsister, Vanessa, stops scrolling through her phone. The room falls into that particular kind of silence that precedes devastation. But this time, I'm smiling. Of course, Dad. What about college? He shifts uncomfortably. Even now, even after everything he put me through in my first life, part of me wants to make this easier for him. That's the problem with being the daughter who always tried to keep the peace. You become everyone's doormat. Not anymore. Well, you know how competitive admissions are this year, he begins, using the same apologetic tone he used last time. And Vanessa's applications are still pending. While yours are already done, Linda interrupts, her voice sharp despite the fake sweetness she layers over it. You applied early to several schools. That was very premature of you. Premature. As if ambition is a flaw. I take a sip of water, letting them continue. In my first life, I didn't see this coming. I was blindsided when they asked me to withdraw my applications to Princeton, Yale, and Harvard, all the schools Vanessa wanted. They said it would confuse the admissions officers to have two sisters applying from the same household. They said it would hurt Vanessa's chances. They said I could apply to state schools instead. Like a fool, I believed family meant something. I withdrew my applications. Vanessa got into Princeton with my exact essay structure. I'd helped her write it, after all. I went to the state school where I met Marcus, who seemed like the first person to ever really see me. We got engaged senior year. Then I found out he was sleeping with Vanessa, had been, for months. Then I found out the real reason they'd made me withdraw my applications. My SAT scores were perfect. My GPA was higher. My essays were better. They knew I'd get in everywhere, and Vanessa, despite her beauty and charm, was academically average at best. They couldn't risk me overshadowing her. I found all this out at what should have been my engagement party when I overheard Linda on the phone, bragging to her sister about how they'd handled me, how they'd ensured Vanessa would never live in my shadow. I crashed my car on the way home that night. Whether it was an accident or not, even I don't know. But I woke up 6 months earlier in my childhood bedroom with my acceptance letter to every Ivy League school piled on my desk as memories that hadn't happened yet. Actually, I say now, setting down my water glass, I need to tell you something. Dad looks hopeful. Linda looks triumphant. Vanessa has that smug little smile I used to think was pretty. I got into Princeton, I say. Early decision. I signed the binding agreement 3 days ago. The silence is different now. What? Linda's voice is barely a whisper. Early decision, I repeat slowly like I'm explaining to a child. Binding agreement, I applied in November, found out mid-December, it's done. I'm going to Princeton next fall, and per the contract, I've already withdrawn all my other applications. Dad's face has gone pale. But Vanessa? Applied regular decision to Princeton, I know. I smile at my stepsister, whose perfect face is finally showing something other than bored superiority. Hope you have some backup schools lined up, Ness. I hear Penn State has rolling admissions. You little bitch, Vanessa hisses. And there it is, the real her, the one she only showed me when no one else was looking. How could you be so selfish? Linda demands, standing up so fast her chair scrapes against the hardwood. You knew Vanessa wanted Princeton. You knew this was her dream school. Funny, I say, still calm, still smiling. I don't remember you asking about my dreams. This is different. Linda's voice is rising. Vanessa has been planning for Princeton since she was 14. She's going to be pre-med. She's going to fail organic chemistry and switch to communications. I interrupt. Yeah, I know. I also know she's going to date 3 different guys on the lacrosse team simultaneously, get caught, and spend more time on damage control than studying. Vanessa's mouth opens and closes like a fish. How did you... I don't answer. Some things are better left mysterious. David, Linda turns to my father with that particular tone that's made him spineless for the past 8 years. You need to fix this. Make her withdraw the acceptance. I can't, Dad says weakly. Early decision is binding. If she breaks the contract, she won't be able to go to any college. They blacklist you. Then she'll take a gap year and reapply. Linda's really losing it now. Vanessa deserves this opportunity. Vanessa has worked so hard. For what? I interrupt. Her 3.2 GPA, her 1280 SAT? Or are we talking about how hard she worked copying my calculus homework for 2 years? That's not, Vanessa starts, but I'm not done. I have a 4.0 GPA, perfect SAT. I'm captain of the debate team, first chair violin, and I've published 2 research papers with Dr. Chen at the university. But sure, let's talk about how hard Vanessa worked on her Instagram aesthetic. You're being cruel, Dad says, and I almost laugh at the irony. No, Dad, cruel is what you were planning to do tonight. Again. The word hangs in the air. Again. I shouldn't have said it, but God, it feels good to finally speak the truth. What do you mean, again? Dad asks slowly. I stand up, smoothing down my sweater. Doesn't matter. What matters is that you can't take this from me. Princeton already has my deposit. I've already signed up for orientation. I've already been assigned a dorm. I look at each of them in turn, savoring this moment I've played over in my mind 1,000 times since I woke up in the past. I know what you are, I say quietly. I know you are going to make me withdraw my applications. I know you are going to tell me it was for family harmony. I know Dad was going to give me that disappointed look and tell me I was being selfish. I know Linda was going to cry and say I was ruining Vanessa's life. I pause. I know because you did it before. You're not making sense, Linda says, but her voice wavers. No, I'm making perfect sense. For the first time in my life, I'm finally thinking clearly. I grab my bag from the back of my chair. I'm going to Aunt Marie's for the rest of break. Don't call me unless it's an emergency. An actual emergency, not Vanessa needing her essay edited. You can't just leave, Dad says, standing up. We're your family. You were supposed to be my family. But families don't sacrifice one daughter for the other. Families don't systematically undermine one child to prop up another. Families don't. My voice cracks slightly, and I hate that I'm showing weakness, but I push through. Families don't make you feel like you have to apologize for existing. I walk toward the door, then pause. There's one more thing I need to say. One more knife I need to twist. Oh, and Vanessa? I'd be careful about submitting that essay Dad's colleague wrote for you. Princeton has new plagiarism detection software this year. Very sophisticated. Would be a shame if they found out it wasn't your own work. Vanessa's face goes white. Linda's mouth opens, but no sound comes out. I leave them there, frozen in their perfect dining room in their perfect house, and I don't look back. Aunt Marie opens the door before I even finish knocking. Rough night? She asks, taking in my probably wild expression. You have no idea. She steps aside to let me in. I've got wine and bad television. That work? That works perfectly. Aunt Marie is my mom's sister and the only member of my extended family who didn't treat me like damaged goods after Dad remarried. She never liked Linda, never bought into the Vanessa worship, and never made me feel like I was less than. So, she says, pouring me a glass of red wine that I'm definitely not old enough to drink, but she's never cared about rules. Did you do it? I told them about Princeton. She grins. And? Linda almost stroked out. Dad looked like he'd been slapped. Vanessa called me a bitch. Music to my ears. She clinks her glass against mine. To my brilliant niece who's finally standing up for herself. We drink, and I feel something loosen in my chest. This is what family should feel like. Being celebrated, not diminished. They wanted me to withdraw, I say after a moment, just like I knew they would. Of course they did. Can't have you outshining the golden child. Aunt Marie settles into the couch next to me. You know, I tried to warn your father. When he married Linda, I told him she had that look in her. The competitive mom look. The kind who sees other women, even little girls, as threats. I wish I'd listened to you back then. You were 12 and grieving your mother. You wanted to believe in the happy, blended family fairy tale. She pats my hand. Not your fault your father chose a woman who can't handle her daughter being second best at anything. We watched some terrible reality show for a while, not really paying attention. My phone buzzes repeatedly, Dad, Linda, even Vanessa, but I ignore them all. Can I ask you something? Aunt Marie says during a commercial break. Sure. Earlier you said something about, again, you knew what they were planning. She turns to look at me, her expression more serious than usual. Want to tell me what that was about? I should say no. I should brush it off, make some excuse about good instincts or lucky guesses. But Aunt Marie is the one person who's never betrayed me in either timeline. I'm going to tell you something, and you're going to think I'm crazy. Honey, I've thought you were crazy since you were 6 and tried to convince me your stuffed rabbit was actually a secret agent. Try me. So I tell her. Everything. The first timeline, the betrayal, Marcus, the car crash. Waking up 6 months in the past with all my memories intact. The early decision application I submitted the moment I realized I had a second chance. She listens without interrupting, her expression unreadable. When I finish, she's quiet for a long moment. Then she pours us both more wine. Well, she finally says. That explains why you've been different these past few months. More focused. More, she gestures vaguely. Sharp. You believe me? Honey, I've seen enough weird shit in my life to know there's more out there than we understand, and honestly, it makes sense. The old you would have tried to make peace, would have sacrificed yourself to keep everyone happy. She meets my eyes. This version of you has a backbone made of steel. I like her. I feel tears prick my eyes. Thank you. Don't thank me. Thank yourself for being smart enough to change things. She raises her glass. So what's next? You've secured Princeton, you've made your Declaration of Independence. What's the rest of the revenge plan? What makes you think there's more? Because I know you, and I know that family. They're not going to let this go easily, Linda especially. She's going to make your life hell for the next few months until you leave for college. She's right, of course. In the original timeline, even at the state school, Linda managed to make me miserable. Forgot to forward my mail, accidentally donated my winter clothes, conveniently forgot to tell me about family events, death by 1,000 small cruelties. I've got plans, I admit, but some of them need time to develop. Good, Aunt Marie leans back with satisfaction. Just promise me one thing. What? Don't lose yourself in revenge. Yes. Make them pay for what they did or were going to do to you, but don't let it consume you. Live your life, be brilliant, be happy. That's the best revenge of all. I nod, but we both know I'm not ready to let it go yet. There's too much anger, too much hurt from the life they stole from me. But she's right about one thing. I need to focus on the future, not just the past. The next morning, I get an email from Princeton. My heart stops for a moment. Could they somehow take it back? Did Dad call them? But no. It's an invitation to an accepted students webinar where current students answer questions about freshman year. I sign up immediately, feeling a fierce joy that no one can take this from me. My phone rings. Dad. I let it go to voicemail, but I listen to the message later. Sweetheart, please come home. We need to talk about this rationally. I know you're upset, but we're a family and families work things out together. Call me back. I delete it. Linda leaves a message too. I don't know what's gotten into you, but this selfish phase needs to end. You're hurting your sister, and for what? Some Ivy League bragging rights? We raised you better than this. We. As if she raised me. As if she did anything but tolerate my existence while grooming Vanessa to be her clone. I delete that one too. Vanessa sends a text. Hope you're happy. You ruined everything. I screenshot it and save it in a folder labeled Evidence. I'm not sure what I'll need it for yet, but I've learned to document everything. Aunt Marie is at work, so I spend the day doing something I never got to do in my first life, actually preparing for Princeton. I research professors in my intended major, molecular biology, and find 3 whose work aligns with my interests. I draft emails introducing myself, mentioning my research with Dr. Chen, asking if they take undergraduate research assistants. I map out my ideal course schedule for freshman year. I join the Princeton class of 2026 Facebook group and start connecting with other admitted students. I live in the future I'm creating instead of the past I'm leaving behind. Around 3 p.m., Dr. Chen emails me. Heard through the grapevine that you got into Princeton early. Congratulations. Have you thought about what you want to study? I write back immediately, telling him about my interest in genetic engineering, my long-term goal of working on CRISPR applications for disease prevention. He responds within minutes. I have a colleague at Princeton, Dr. Sarah Hoffman. She's doing groundbreaking work on gene therapy. I'd be happy to introduce you. This didn't happen in my first timeline. In my first timeline, I was at state school, uninspired, going through the motions while Vanessa posted Instagram photos from Princeton's beautiful campus. In this timeline, I'm building something real. Dr. Chen makes the introduction that afternoon. By evening, Dr. Hoffman has emailed me, impressed by my research background, asking if I'd like to join her lab as a freshman. We don't usually take first years, she writes, but Dr. Chen speaks very highly of you, and your research proposal is sophisticated. I accept immediately. When Aunt Marie comes home, I tell her about the opportunity. See, she says, pulling me into a hug. This is what happens when you fight for yourself. Good things. But that night, alone in the guest bedroom, I let myself remember the bad things. Marcus, with his easy smile and lies. Coming home to our apartment to find him in our bed with Vanessa, her laughing, him not even looking ashamed. It just happened, he'd said, like physics, like inevitability. She's everything you're not, Vanessa had added, cruel even in victory. Beautiful, fun, spontaneous. Did you really think he'd choose you when he could have me? In this timeline, I haven't met Marcus yet. Won't meet him until spring semester at the state school I'm not attending. He and Vanessa can find each other some other way, without me as collateral damage. But I haven't forgotten, and I won't forgive. I avoid going home for the rest of winter break. Dad calls every few days, his messages getting more frustrated. Linda leaves increasingly nasty voicemails. Vanessa oscillates between fury and guilt-tripping. I respond to exactly none of them. 1 week before school starts back up, Aunt Marie comes home with news. So I ran into your guidance counselor at the grocery store today, Mrs. Patterson? I nod, suddenly wary. She mentioned that your father called her, asked if there was any way to undo your Princeton acceptance. My blood runs cold. What did she say? She told him that early decision is binding, that breaking the contract would essentially blacklist you from every reputable college in the country, and that she would not support any attempt to sabotage your education. Aunt Marie grins. Then she told him, and I quote, "Your daughter is the most talented student I've seen in 20 years of teaching. If you can't be proud of her, that's a reflection on you, not her." I feel something crack in my chest. Relief, validation, a wound finally beginning to heal. She also mentioned that Vanessa came to see her, asked about applying early decision to Princeton for next year, as if she could do a gap year and reapply. And Mrs. Patterson explained that colleges compare applications from the same high school, same family. That with your perfect record already in Princeton's system, Vanessa's would look even weaker by comparison. Aunt Marie's smile is wicked. Apparently, Vanessa cried in her office for 45 minutes. I should feel bad about that. The old me would have felt bad about that. This me just feels satisfied. There's more, Aunt Marie continues. Linda has apparently been calling other parents, trying to drum up some kind of sympathy campaign, telling people you've changed, that you've become selfish and cruel, that you're purposely sabotaging your sister's future. And most people are responding with some version of your daughter got into Princeton and you're complaining about it? The only people taking Linda's side are her book club friends, and even they sound skeptical. This is the thing about Linda. She's so used to everyone catering to Vanessa that she genuinely can't understand why the rest of the world doesn't see her daughter as the center of the universe. How bad is it going to be when I go back to school? I ask. Well, you're about to become extremely popular. She's not wrong. The first day back, I'm swarmed. Everyone wants to congratulate me on Princeton. Teachers I barely know stop me in the hallway to tell me how proud they are. The principal mentions me in the morning announcements as an example of what Northfield High students can achieve with dedication and hard work. Vanessa, sitting 3 seats ahead of me in English, looks like she wants to die. I should probably feel bad about that too. I still don't. What surprises me is how many people seem genuinely happy for me. In my first timeline, I'd been so focused on keeping peace, on not rocking the boat, that I'd made myself small, forgettable. Now people are seeing me for the first time, and they like what they see. I didn't know you were that smart, says Jessica Chen, no relation to Dr. Chen at lunch. She's one of the popular girls, someone who'd never spoken to me before. I keep it low-key, I say, which is an understatement. Well, it's cool. My cousin goes to Princeton, says it's incredible. She pauses. Is it true your sister applied there too? Vanessa applied to a lot of schools. Jessica makes a face. Must be weird competing with your sister like that. We're not competing. We're just different people with different goals. It's diplomatic, mature, completely fake. But it works. Jessica nods like I've said something profound and changes the subject to the basketball game this weekend. I spot Vanessa across the cafeteria, sitting with her usual crowd. She's scrolling through her phone, probably looking at Princeton's Instagram account, torturing herself with what she can't have. I remember that feeling from my first life, watching her posts from Princeton, seeing her at parties and football games, living the life I'd given up for her. It had been like swallowing glass every single day. Now she gets to feel it. 2 weeks into the semester, I'm in the library working on a calculus problem set when someone sits down across from me. Marcus. I freeze. I'd forgotten this was when we met. In the library, during exam season, him asking to borrow a calculator. He's exactly as I remember. Tall, athletic build, dark hair that flops over his forehead. Smile that probably makes most girls' hearts skip. Mine just goes cold. Hey, he says, flashing that smile. You're in AP Calc, right? I've seen you in the hallway. Yeah, I keep my voice neutral, my eyes on my work. I'm Marcus. I'm struggling with related rates. Don't suppose you could help me out? In my first timeline, I said yes. I was flattered that this good-looking guy was talking to me, asking for my help. We studied together that afternoon, exchanged numbers, started dating a week later. In this timeline, I say, sorry, I've got my own work to finish. Try Khan Academy. His smile falters slightly. Oh, okay, no problem. He doesn't leave immediately, hovering like he expected a different response. Finally, he wanders off to another table. I watch him go, feeling a grim satisfaction. In a few months, when he enrolls at state school, he'll meet someone else. Maybe even Vanessa, if she ends up there too after her inevitable rejections from top-tier schools. They can have each other, and I'll be 300 miles away doing real research in a real lab, living my real life. My phone buzzes with a text from Aunt Marie. Dinner tonight? I'm making your mom's lasagna. I respond immediately, Aussie. Yes, I'll bring wine. Then, the fancy kind, not the $8 bottle from Trader Joe's. Big spender now that you're Princeton bound? Just want to celebrate. And I do want to celebrate. Every day, I'm further from the life they tried to trap me in. Every day, I'm building something they can never touch. February brings college decision notifications for everyone else. The hallways are full of anxiety and excitement, acceptance squeals and rejection tears. Vanessa gets her Princeton rejection on a Thursday. I know because she comes home. I'm back at Dad's now, maintaining an icy civility that's better than open warfare, and slams every door in the house. Linda comforts her loudly enough for me to hear in my bedroom. "It's not fair," Vanessa sobs. "I had a good essay, my interview went well, I know, baby, I know." Linda's voice is syrupy, vicious. "They just couldn't handle having two brilliant girls from the same family." It's a lie, and we all know it. Vanessa didn't get in because she wasn't qualified. Simple as that. But Linda needs someone to blame, and I'm the easiest target. At dinner that night, the atmosphere is poisonous. "I hope you're happy," Linda says, not even pretending to be civil anymore. "I got into Princeton," I say mildly. "Yes, I'm happy." "You ruined your sister's life." "I got into a school I was qualified for. That's not ruining anyone's life." "You knew she wanted Princeton. You knew it was her dream." Linda's voice is rising. "But you couldn't stand the thought of her having something you didn't. You had to destroy it for her." Dad, predictably, says nothing. Just pushes food around his plate like a coward. "Actually," I say, setting down my fork, "I got into Princeton because I worked harder than anyone I know. I earned it. Vanessa didn't get in because she didn't earn it. That's not my problem." "How dare you," Linda starts. "No, how dare you?" I'm standing now, my chair scraping back. "How dare you act like my success is a personal attack on your daughter? How dare you treat me like an obstacle to be removed instead of a person with my own dreams? How dare you spend 18 years making me feel like I should apologize for existing?" "You're being dramatic," Linda says, but her voice wavers. "Am I? Because from where I'm standing, you've spent the last 6 years systematically undermining me so Vanessa could shine. And now that it didn't work, now that I succeeded anyway, you're furious. That's not it. It is. And you know what? I'm done pretending it isn't." I look at my father, who still won't meet my eyes. "Dad, I'm going back to Aunt Marie's. I'll come home to pack for Princeton, and that's it. I can't live in a house where my accomplishments are treated like crimes." "Sweetheart, please," he finally speaks, but it's too little. Too late. "You had a choice," I tell him quietly. "Every time Linda and Vanessa made me feel small, every time they took credit for my work or sabotaged my opportunities, you had a choice. You chose them." I grab my keys and walk out. Behind me, I hear Vanessa say, "Good riddance." I hear Dad say nothing at all. The next few months pass in a blur of final exams, AP tests, and college preparation. I maintain my perfect GPA, captain the debate team to a state championship, and publish a third research paper with Dr. Chen. Vanessa ends up at Penn State, a good school but not Princeton. Linda stops speaking to me entirely. Dad sends awkward texts every few weeks that I mostly ignore. Aunt Marie helps me shop for dorm supplies, drive to Princeton for an accepted students' weekend, plan my course schedule. She's more excited than I am, which is saying something. "Your mom would be so proud," she tells me one night. Both of us a little wine drunk, sitting on her porch watching the sunset. I wish she was here to see it. She is, honey, she is. I don't know if I believe in that kind of thing, heaven, ghosts, watching over us, but I want to. I want my mom to know that I survived, that I won, that I'm going to be okay. Graduation is awkward. Dad and Linda come, sit on opposite sides of the auditorium from Aunt Marie. When I walk across the stage as valedictorian, the applause is thunderous. I don't look at Dad's section. I look at Aunt Marie, who's crying and cheering, and that's enough. My speech is short, pointed. I talk about resilience, about fighting for your dreams even when people try to take them away. I talk about the importance of believing in yourself when no one else does. I don't mention Vanessa or Linda by name, but everyone knows who I'm talking about. After the ceremony, there's a receiving line. Teachers congratulate me. Classmates take photos. Parents tell me I'm an inspiration to their own daughters. Linda and Vanessa leave immediately. Dad approaches me hesitantly, like I'm a wild animal that might bolt. "I'm proud of you," he says. "Are you?" Of course, you're brilliant, accomplished, and you spent years letting your wife make me feel worthless. I keep my voice low, controlled. You don't get to be proud now, Dad. You lost that right. I never meant, you never meant to hurt me. You just prioritized Linda's feelings and Vanessa's ego over your own daughter's well-being. Repeatedly. For years. He flinches like I've hit him. I know I made mistakes. Yeah, you did. I pause. Maybe someday I'll be ready to talk about it, but not today. Today is my day, and I'm not going to let you ruin it. I walk away before he can respond, back to Aunt Marie and her friends, back to the people who actually celebrate my success instead of resenting it. Summer passes quickly. I work in Dr. Chen's lab, save money, prepare for college. Vanessa posts passive-aggressive Instagram stories about fake people and family betrayal. I block her. Linda sends me a Facebook message in July. I hope you know what you've done to this family. Your selfishness has torn us apart. I screenshot it, add it to my evidence folder, and block her too. Dad tries to have lunch with me in August. I agree, mostly because Aunt Marie thinks I should hear him out. He takes me to my favorite restaurant, the one Mom used to take me to for special occasions. I don't know if he remembers that or if it's a coincidence. I've been thinking a lot, he starts, about everything you said at graduation. Okay. You were right. I prioritized my marriage over my daughter. I let Linda treat you unfairly because it was easier than standing up to her. He looks genuinely pained. I was a coward. Yes, you were. I want to make it right. I don't think you can, Dad. Not really. I take a breath. But I appreciate you acknowledging it. Linda and I are in therapy, marriage counseling. Good for you. She's starting to see, he stops. She's working on things. I doubt that. Linda is incapable of seeing herself as anything but a victim of my ambition. But I don't say that. I'm glad you're working on your marriage, I say instead. But I need you to understand something. Even if you fix things with Linda, even if she suddenly becomes Mother of the Year, what happened between us doesn't just go away. You chose her over me, repeatedly, for years. That's not something that gets fixed with an apology. I know. His voice is thick. I just hope that someday, maybe when you're older, you'll forgive you? Understand me. I understand you perfectly, Dad. You're weak. You'd rather keep the peace than do the right thing. You love me, but not enough to protect me. I meet his eyes. That's what I'll always understand about you. We finish the meal in near silence. He pays. We hug goodbye, and it feels like exactly what it is. An ending. I move into Princeton on a Tuesday in late August. My dorm is in Butler College, a beautiful residential area with Gothic architecture and tree-lined paths. My roommate, Ashley, is pre-law and already has her entire side of the room color-coordinated. You're the biology genius Dr. Hoffman told me about, she says by way of introduction. She called me a genius? She said you're the most promising freshman she's seen in years. Ashley grins. No pressure or anything? I laugh and it feels good. Easy. Like maybe this version of my life can include normal things like roommate bonding and college excitement. Aunt Marie helps me unpack, fusses over my bedding, takes approximately 800 photos. You good? She asks before she leaves, pulling me aside. I'm good. Really? Really. And I mean it. Standing in my dorm room, Princeton University sprawled out before me, the life I fought for finally beginning. I'm better than good. She hugs me tight. Call me every week. I want to hear everything. I will. And if anyone makes you feel less than, you tell me. I will drive 3 hours to kick their ass. Aunt Marie, you're 5'3", and I fight dirty. Your point? I laugh and hug her tighter. I love you. Love you too, kid. Now go be brilliant. The first weeks of Princeton are everything I hoped, and nothing like I feared. The classes are challenging but exhilarating. My professors actually know my name, engage with my ideas, push me to think deeper. Dr. Hoffman's lab is incredible. I'm the only freshman, surrounded by graduate students and postdocs who treat me like a colleague instead of a kid. My first project is analyzing gene expression patterns in cancer cells, looking for therapeutic targets. I joined the Molecular Biology Club, the Women in STEM organization, and the debate team. I make friends, real friends, people who appreciate my intensity instead of being threatened by it. Ashley becomes my closest friend almost immediately. She's sharp, funny, and has no patience for bullshit. Your family sounds like a Lifetime movie, she says one night when I tell her, edited version of my story. Evil stepmother, golden child sister, weak father. Did you at least get a fairy godmother? Aunt Marie. There we go. Every good story needs a fairy godmother. She pauses. Are you going to tell me what really happened? Because I'm getting major, there's more to this story vibes. I hesitate, but Ashley has been nothing but supportive, and I'm tired of keeping secrets. So I tell her. Everything. The first timeline, the rebirth, the revenge, all of it. She listens without interrupting, her expression shifting from skeptical to intrigued to fully invested. Holy shit, she finally says. You think I'm crazy? No, I think you're a badass who got a second chance and used it to take down people who deserved it. She grabs my shoulders. This is the best thing I've ever heard. You're like a superhero. A superhero who's still processing trauma and trust issues? The best kind. She releases me. Seriously, though, are you okay? Like, emotionally? Am I? I've been so focused on the practical aspects, getting into Princeton, avoiding Marcus, establishing boundaries with my family, that I haven't really processed the emotional weight of living through betrayal twice, once in reality and once in memory. I don't know, I admit. Sometimes I feel powerful, like I beat them at their own game. Other times I feel sad that I had to, that my family couldn't just love me without conditions. That's valid. Both of those things are valid. Ashley is quiet for a moment. You should probably talk to someone. Like a professional someone. Therapy? Yeah, Princeton has good counseling services. Free for students. I nod slowly. She's right. I've been carrying this alone for so long, first in my original timeline, then through the rebirth, that I've forgotten I don't have to. I start seeing Dr. Martinez, a campus therapist, in October. She's warm, perceptive, and doesn't blink when I tell her, without the rebirth details, about my family situation. It sounds like you've been parentified, she says in our third session, made to prioritize others' needs over your own, to the point where asserting your needs felt like a crime. Yes, exactly that. And now you're struggling with guilt for finally prioritizing yourself? I shouldn't feel guilty, I know that. But sometimes I wonder if I was too harsh, if I should have tried harder to maintain the relationship with people who asked you to sacrifice your dreams for theirs. Put that way, it sounds absurd. When you say it like that, look, you can acknowledge that your family relationships were complicated and still maintain your boundaries. You can feel sad that your father chose his wife over you and still refuse to accept being treated poorly. Those things aren't contradictory. It helps hearing it from someone objective. Over the following weeks, Dr. Martinez helps me untangle the knot of guilt and anger and grief that I've been carrying. Grief? I ask when she mentions it. You're grieving the family you should have had. The father who should have protected you. The sister who should have been an ally, not a rival. Even the mother you lost. She pauses. That's real loss. And you're allowed to mourn it. I cry in her office that day, finally letting myself feel everything I've been pushing down. Midterms come and go. I ace everything, which surprises no one but still feels good. Dr. Hoffman asked me to co-author a paper we're submitting to a journal. Your analysis was crucial to this finding, she says. You deserve credit. In my first timeline, I was barely passing organic chemistry at state school, distracted by Marcus's infidelity and family drama. In this timeline, I'm contributing to actual scientific research as a freshman. The difference is staggering. I video chat with Aunt Marie every Sunday. She tells me about her work, she's an architect, her dating life, she's seeing someone new, but don't get excited, it's casual, and the local gossip. Your father asks about you, she mentions in November. What do you tell him? That you're thriving, that you're happy, that you're exactly where you should be. She pauses. Is that true? Yes. Good, because he doesn't deserve to know the details if you're not ready to share them. I love her for that, for being protective without being controlling, for supporting my boundaries without question. How's Vanessa doing? I ask, surprising myself. At Penn State? According to Facebook, she's having a great time. Lots of party photos. Aunt Marie's tone is dry. Linda posts about her constantly, like she's trying to prove something. Trying to prove Vanessa's happy without Princeton? Something like that. I should feel guilty that Vanessa didn't get her dream school, but I don't. She had every advantage: money, support, parents who prioritized her above everything, and she still couldn't compete with me on merit. That's not my fault. Thanksgiving approaches. Dad invites me home. I decline. We'd really like to see you, he says on the phone. I'm going to Aunt Marie's. You could split the time. Thanksgiving with us, the weekend with Marie. No thanks. Please, Linda wants to apologize. That stops me. Linda wants to apologize? We've been working on things in therapy. She recognizes she treated you unfairly. I'm skeptical, but curious. Okay, I'll bite. What does this apology look like? Come to Thanksgiving dinner and find out. It's manipulative holding the apology hostage, but I'm intrigued enough to consider it. I'll think about it, I say finally. I talk it over with Dr. Martinez. What do you want to happen? She asks. I want Linda to admit she was jealous of me, that she deliberately sabotaged me, that she treated me like a threat instead of a daughter. I pause. I want my father to admit he was complicit. I want Vanessa to acknowledge her role in it. And if none of that happens, if it's just a generic "I'm sorry if you felt hurt" apology, then I'll know where we stand, and I can move on accordingly. Dr. Martinez nods. That's fair. Just remember, you don't owe them forgiveness, even if they do apologize properly. You can acknowledge their growth without giving them access to your life. I drive home Wednesday evening, my stomach in knots. Aunt Marie offered to come with me, but I declined. This is something I need to do alone. Dad opens the door, looking older than I remember. You came. I said I'd think about it. I thought about it. The house looks the same. Vanessa's volleyball trophies on the mantle. Linda's interior design magazines on the coffee table. Everything in its perfect place. Linda emerges from the kitchen, wiping her hands on a towel. She looks nervous, which is new. Hi, she says. Hi. Can we talk before dinner? I nod, following her to the living room. Dad and Vanessa make themselves scarce. Linda san us, on the edge of the couch, hands folded in her lap. She looks smaller somehow, diminished. I owe you an apology, she begins. A real one, not the kind I gave at dinner that night. I wait. I was jealous of you. The words come out in a rush. From the moment I married your father, I was jealous. You were this brilliant, accomplished girl, And I was afraid, she stops, composes herself. I was afraid you make Vanessa look bad by comparison. So I tried to minimize you, make you smaller so she could shine. You tried to destroy my future. Yes. She meets my eyes. Yes, I did. And I told myself it was for Vanessa's own good, that she deserved opportunities, that you'd be fine anyway. But the truth is, I couldn't stand the idea of you succeeding while she struggled. It's more honesty than I expected. Why now? Why apologize now? Because therapy made me see what I was really doing, and because, her voice cracks slightly, because Vanessa is miserable at Penn State. There it is, the real reason. She compares herself to you constantly, Linda continues, looks at your social media, sees you thriving at Princeton, doing research, making friends. She calls me crying about how she's not good enough, how she'll never measure up. And you thought an apology would fix that? No, I thought maybe if I took accountability for my part, if I stopped feeding into the comparison, maybe she could start healing. Linda looks exhausted. I made her believe she was in competition with you. I created that dynamic, and now she's destroying herself trying to win a race that doesn't exist. I'm quiet for a long moment, processing this. I don't forgive you, I finally say. Not yet, maybe not ever. What you did was cruel, and it had real consequences. In another version of my life, I stop myself. It could have destroyed me. I know. But I appreciate you being honest. That's more than I expected. Linda nods, wiping at her eyes. I'll understand if you don't want to stay for dinner. I'll stay, but I'm not going to pretend we're one big happy family. I stand up. And Linda, if you ever try to sabotage me again, or if you start treating anyone else the way you treated me, I'll make sure everyone knows exactly what kind of person you are. She pales slightly but nods. That's fair. Dinner is awkward but civil. Vanessa barely speaks to me, which is fine. Dad makes nervous small talk. Linda is subdued. After dinner, Vanessa corners me in the kitchen while I'm loading the dishwasher. I'm sorry too, she says quietly. I turn to look at her. She's lost weight, looks tired. Penn State apparently isn't the party she imagined. For what specifically? For being a bitch. For going along with Mom's plan to make you withdraw your applications. She stops. For a lot of things. Okay. That's it? Just okay? What do you want me to say, Vanessa? That it's fine, that we're good now, we're not. I know that. She's crying now and I feel a reluctant sympathy. I miss having a sister. You never treated me like a sister. You treated me like an obstacle. I know. Mom made me think. She stops. That's not an excuse. I made my own choices. Yes, you did. We stand there in silence, the dishwasher humming between us. I'm not asking for forgiveness, Vanessa finally says. I just wanted you to know I see it now, what we did, what I let happen. Okay, I say again, because what else is there? She leaves the kitchen and I finish loading the dishes alone. I drive back to Aunt Marie's that night instead of staying over. She takes one look at my face and pours us both wine. How bad was it? Linda apologized. Actually apologized, like for real. Admitted she was jealous, that she tried to sabotage me. Wow. Yeah, Vanessa apologized too. Even more wow. But it doesn't fix anything, not really. I take a long drink. They hurt me because it was convenient for them, because I was in the way of what they wanted. An apology doesn't undo that. No, it doesn't, but it's still something. Accountability matters. Maybe. But right now, I just feel tired. Finals hit like a truck. I spend 2 weeks in the library, barely sleeping, fueled by coffee and spite. My molecular biology exam is brutal, my chemistry lab practical even worse. But I ace everything, again. Dr. Hoffman tells me the paper we submitted was accepted for publication. Your first co-authorship as a freshman, she says proudly. That's going to look incredible on your resume. Ashley drags me to an end-of-semester party to celebrate. I'm not much of a party person, but I go anyway, and actually have fun. I meet people from other residential colleges, dance to music that's too loud, drink cheap beer that tastes terrible. I feel like a normal college student for the first time since I got here. You seem lighter, Ashley observes later, both of us sprawled on our dorm room floor, too tired to make it to our beds. Lighter? Yeah, like less heavy with revenge and anger. More just living. She's right. Somewhere between the therapy and the apologies and the academic success, I've started letting go of the anger that consumed me after the rebirth. I'm still hurt, still scarred, but I'm not just a revenge story anymore. I'm a person with a future. Winter break is split between Aunt Marie's house and Princeton. Dr. Hoffman asks if I want to continue research over break, and I jump at the opportunity. Being in the lab feels more like home than anywhere else. Dad calls on Christmas Eve. Just wanted to say Merry Christmas, he says, sounding tentative. Merry Christmas, Dad. Are you happy? The question catches me off guard. Yes, I'm happy. Good, that's good. He's quiet for a moment. I know I messed up. I know I can't fix it, but I'm glad you're happy. Thanks, Dad. We don't talk long, but it's less painful than I expected. I spend New Year's Eve in the lab, running experiments while the rest of the world parties. At midnight, I get texts from Ashley, from Aunt Marie, from a few other friends. Nothing from my family. That's okay. I'm building my own family now, chosen rather than given. Spring semester starts with new classes, new opportunities, new challenges. I'm taking biochemistry, genetics, advanced composition, and a philosophy seminar on bioethics. The work is intense, but I thrive on it. In February, I get an email from a Princeton alumna, a woman named Dr. Jessica Walsh, who works at a biotech startup in Cambridge. Dr. Hoffman recommended you for our summer internship program, the email reads. We're looking for exceptional students interested in gene therapy research. Would you be interested in interviewing? I interview via Zoom the next week. They offer me the position on the spot. This is a paid internship, Dr. Walsh explains. 15 weeks, full-time, working directly with our research team. We don't usually take freshmen, but Sarah speaks very highly of you. I accept immediately. I text Aunt Marie. Got a summer internship at a biotech in Cambridge? Paid, research-focused? She responds in seconds. That's my girl. I'm so proud I could burst. I don't tell my family, they don't ask. April brings warm weather and a campus that transforms into something out of a movie. Cherry blossoms bloom everywhere, students study on the lawns, everything feels possible. I run into someone I vaguely recognize from freshman orientation. A guy named David from my residential college. You're the molecular biology genius, he says by way of greeting. I'm really not. Dr. Hoffman literally told my roommate you're the best freshman researcher she's ever had. I laugh despite myself. Dr. Hoffman is very generous. Also very accurate, apparently. He grins. I'm David. I'm pre-med, which means I'm constantly dying of stress. Any study tips from the genius? We end up getting coffee, talking about classes and professors, and the overwhelming nature of Princeton academics. He's funny, self-deprecating, genuine, in a way that makes me drop my guard. It's not romantic, not yet, but it's nice. Easy. Like maybe I can trust people again. Finals roll around again. I'm more prepared this time, more balanced. I still ace everything, but I also sleep more than 4 hours a night and actually eat regular meals. Dr. Martinez would be proud. The summer in Cambridge is incredible. The biotech startup is cutting edge, working on CRISPR applications for genetic disorders. I'm the youngest person there by several years, but they treat me like a colleague. I'm learning more than I ever thought possible, doing work that actually matters. I live with 3 other interns in a cramped apartment near MIT. We become friends quickly. Late-night pizza runs, weekend trips to Boston, long debates about science and ethics in the future. One of them, a PhD, student named Sarah, not Dr. Hoffman Sarah, different Sarah, asks about my family one night when we're all a little drunk on cheap wine. "Do you guys talk?" she asks. "Not really. We had a falling out." "Over what?" "They tried to make me give up my dreams for my stepsister. I refused. Drama ensued." "Damn, good for you, though." "Yeah, it was hard, but it was right." "Family's complicated," Sarah says wisely. "Sometimes the healthiest thing is distance." I drink to that. I returned to Princeton for sophomore year feeling like a completely different person than the one who arrived as a scared, angry freshman. I'm confident, accomplished, healing. Ashley and I room together again. David and I start dating casually. Nothing serious, just coffee and study sessions and occasional movies. It's comfortable, uncomplicated. I take harder classes, work more hours in Dr. Hoffman's lab, join the executive board of Women in STEM. I'm building a life I'm proud of. Dad calls in October. "I wanted to let you know," he says. "Linda and I are separating." "Oh." "We've been trying to make it work, but the therapy made us realize we're just not good for each other." He sounds exhausted. "I should have seen it years ago." "I'm sorry, Dad." "Don't be. This is my fault, all of it." He pauses. I'm sorry I chose her over you. I'm sorry I let her treat you the way she did. I'm sorry I was such a coward." "I know." "Do you think we could try again? Our relationship? Not go back to what it was, but maybe build something new?" "I consider this. He hurt me, failed me, disappointed me. But he's also acknowledged it, apologized sincerely, taken steps to change." "Maybe," I say carefully. "But it'll take time. And I need you to respect my boundaries." "I will, I promise." "Okay, we can try." It's not forgiveness, not yet. But it's a start. Sophomore year flies by. I publish 2 more papers, present at a conference, get invited to join a prestigious summer research program at Stanford. Vanessa reaches out on Facebook in March. "I'm transferring," her message says. "Penn State isn't for me. I'm going to community college back home, then maybe transferring to state school." "I'm sorry it didn't work out," I reply. It's okay, I'm actually happy about it. Penn State was never right for me, I just wanted it because it was prestigious." A pause indicated by the typing bubble. "Like I wanted Princeton because Mom wanted it for me." "Do you know what you actually want now?" "I'm thinking social work. Helping kids. I've been volunteering at the youth center back home and I love it." "That sounds great, Vanessa." "Thanks. And hey, congrats on all your research stuff. Dad showed me your CV. It's really impressive." "Thanks." It's a small interaction, but it feels significant. Like maybe we can exist in each other's orbits without destruction. The summer at Stanford is incredible. I work with some of the top geneticists in the world, contribute to groundbreaking research, make connections that will shape my career. I also finally fully let go of the anger from my first life. I'm sitting on Stanford's campus one evening watching the sunset when I realize I've won. Not just against Linda and Vanessa, not just by getting into Princeton and succeeding. I've won because I built a life I love, surrounded by people who value me, doing work that matters. The revenge was satisfying, but this life, this peace, is better. Junior year brings new challenges and opportunities. I'm accepted into Princeton's accelerated BS/PhD program, which means I can start graduate-level coursework early. David and I break up amicably. He's going to medical school in California. I'm staying at Princeton. We remain friends. I go home for Thanksgiving. Just to Dad's place. He's living in an apartment now, smaller but cleaner. Aunt Marie comes too. It's nice. Quiet, no drama, no tension. Just family, the chosen kind and the biological kind that's finally learning to be better. Dad's been going to therapy on his own, working on his codependency issues and tendency to avoid conflict. He's softer now, more present. I'm proud of you, he tells me after dinner. I know, Dad. No, I mean, I'm proud of who you've become despite what I put you through. You're stronger than I ever was. Thanks. Your mom would be proud too. That makes my throat tight. I hope so. Vanessa and I meet for coffee over winter break. She's at community college studying social work, volunteering at a youth center for at-risk kids. I'm actually happy, she says, sounding surprised by her own admission. Like genuinely happy, not trying to impress anyone or live up to some image. That's great, Ness. I'm sorry I was such a bitch to you growing up. Mom was in my head, making me think we were in competition, and I just went along with it. I know. Do you think we could be friends? Like actual friends, not just sisters who tolerate each other? I think about it. The old me, both versions of the old me, would have said no, would have held on to the grudge. This me is tired of carrying anger. We can try, I say, so we try. It's awkward at first, tentative, but slowly, over months and years, we build something real. Not the sisterhood we should have had growing up, but something new and honest. Senior year is bittersweet. I'm applying to graduate programs, saying goodbye to Princeton, preparing for the next chapter. I get accepted to every PhD program I apply to. Stanford, MIT, Harvard, Princeton. I choose Princeton, wanting to continue working with Dr. Hoffman. My last semester, I'm walking across campus when I see Marcus. I'd forgotten he existed until this moment. In this timeline, we never dated, never got engaged, never had our spectacular implosion. He's just a guy who once asked me for calc help, nothing more. He doesn't recognize me. Why would he? In this life, I'm not the girl who gave him everything. I'm just another student. I keep walking, smiling to myself. Graduation is perfect. Aunt Marie cries. Dad beams with pride. Even Vanessa comes cheering loudly when I walk across the stage. Linda sends a card. Congratulations on your achievements. It's stiff, formal, but it's something. That evening at Aunt Marie's house, surrounded by the people who love me, I think about the girl I was in my first life. The one who sacrificed everything, who made herself small, who died in a car crash at 22 with nothing but regrets. Thank you, I whisper to her, to that past self, to whatever cosmic force gave me a second chance. Thank you for fighting for this. Aunt Marie finds me on the porch later. You okay? She asks. Better than okay. I lean my head on her shoulder. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Your mom would be so proud. You've said that before. I'll keep saying it until you believe it. I already believe it. But I let her say it anyway because some things bear repeating. Graduate school is everything I hoped for and harder than I imagined. But I thrive anyway because that's what I do now. I thrive. I publish papers, win grants, present at conferences around the world. I date occasionally, nothing serious but nice. I maintain relationships with my family, complex, imperfect, but real. I'm happy. 5 years into my PhD, Dr. Hoffman retires. At her goodbye party, she pulls me aside. You were the best student I ever had, she says. That's not, it is. You came in as a freshman with more drive and focus than most graduate students. You knew exactly what you wanted and fought for it. If she only knew the half of it. Thank you for taking a chance on me, I say. Thank you for proving me right. She smiles. Whatever you do next, wherever you go, you're going to change the world. I know it. I defend my dissertation on a Tuesday in May. My committee unanimously passes me. Dr. Hoffman is there as an emeritus faculty member, dabbing at her eyes. Dr. Chen, the committee chair says, congratulations. Dr. Chen, I'm Dr. Chen now, the girl who was told to make herself small, to give up her dreams, to be less so, someone else could be more. She's Dr. Chen, and she's just getting started. I accept a position at MIT as a postdoctoral researcher, working on cutting-edge gene therapy. The work is challenging, fulfilling, exactly what I want. I buy my first apartment. Small, expensive, mine. I adopt a cat named Schrodinger. I live my life. Dad and I have dinner once a month when I'm in town. It's still complicated, probably always will be, but we're trying. That's enough. Vanessa gets married to a high school teacher. She's happy, doing meaningful work with kids. We text regularly, see each other on holidays. Linda and I are cordial, nothing more, nothing less. Aunt Marie is my rock, my chosen mother, my favorite person in the world. I'm 30 when I realize I've stopped thinking about my first life as often. It's a memory now, distant and hazy, like something that happened to someone else. But I remember enough. I remember the pain, the betrayal, the moment I decided to fight for myself. And I remember the second chance I was given, whether through cosmic intervention, quantum mechanics, or sheer force of will, and what I did with it. I built a life worth living. I became someone worth being. I won. Not because I destroyed them, though I did take them down a few pegs. I won because I refused to be destroyed. And in the end, that's the best revenge of all.